So hello, it's 2 o'clock and it's time for our weekly meditation, Thursday meditation or mindfulness session. So welcome. I am Candy. I teach yoga and meditation here in Richmond, Virginia. I have been experimenting with meditation for about 35 or 36 years. Well, maybe longer. It's been a while. So I bring to this practice with you all just a lot of experience in doing meditation with a lot of challenges. So I'm very grateful to share with you a few moments of mindfulness. Now, our practice for today is going to largely be around this notion of trying to make space for stillness. So we're going to just begin by getting your body in a stable place. And that might include like checking in to see if you need some extra pillows or some extra support for your back. And then once you've gotten your body in a fairly stable sitting position, and if you want, you can stand up to meditate, or you can lie down. Just make sure you are not going to get too sleepy. And then just take a moment to settle yourself in your environment. So all of us have environments, probably right now they're largely at home. There might be some of you that have an office to be in, but there might be distracting sort of noises. There's been some construction going on in the apartment next to mine today, so I've been hearing sanders and other pieces of equipment. There might be distractions just with the other living beings in your world, your pets, your kids. Recognize that we're just arriving in a moment right here. We're just going to capture this next 14 minutes or so and be willing to be still for it, be present for it. So it doesn't matter if all of those things are going on. Whatever's happening is fine. But just acknowledge that it might call your attention from time to time. And that if you catch yourself obsessing about the construction going on next door or the person mowing their lawn outside, we just come back as soon as we catch ourselves getting distracted. Just come back to being present, to being still. So the noticing is less tricky than the stories that we might start to form around it. So if we notice a noise and then we come back to the presence, that's not that big a deal. Noticing the noise and then trying to analyze what is making that noise, that's where we get caught up. And so just every time we catch ourselves kind of like that, kind of tripping down a little memory or analyzing a sound or some part of our circumstances, or we start making a list or planning for things, those are the things that we want to bring ourselves back from. So we've got the environment kind of handled. We recognize there's going to be some distractions and we're going to accept that. When we catch ourselves making stories up about that, we just come back. We've settled the body. Now decide, are your eyes going to be closed or are they going to be open a bit? And then let yourself, without thinking about your body per se, let yourself just notice and relax the body. So if there's any tension in your posture, or if there's anything that's kind of niggling at you in terms of the structure that you've settled yourself into, fix it. And again, the body might call our attention. We might notice a little pain in a knee or a shoulder, and then we just acknowledge that. If we've made up a story about it, we come back to the present of just being here for the body, whatever occurs. And then lastly, come to the breath and notice the breath. Now, some people get a little anxious or start to feel a little breathless if you pay attention to the breath. So if that happens to you, skip the breath awareness and stick with the body awareness. Just be present for your body. But if breath awareness is helpful, and I find it helpful, then it's a nice anchor to come back to. So when you get caught thinking about something or remembering something, you can just come back to the breath, watch it for a few moments, come and go. And then it sort of anchors us back. So using these tools of noticing, being present in and for our environment, our body, the breath that's happening right here in this moment, can we invite ourselves to just be still for a bit? We made the decision to log in, and so now we have permission to really just not do anything. So allow the mind and the body to be completely at peace. Still, just for a few moments. Notice any resistance that comes up as your mind start to think about things or make little lists or plan for things, trying to propel you into the future. And when you catch yourself wanting to do something, can you instead choose to stay still and to relax that urge just a little bit? It's part of our mind. We're not going to necessarily change it. But can we allow it, that pull, that tug to move into the future, to be there without responding to it? Create a little sense of spaciousness in the mind. Let yourself sort of soak in the bliss of being still for just a bit. The future will be waiting for us when we get there. See if you can allow your mind to open like a big horizon line. And just take in everything at once and not anything in particular. Now your mind might be prone to memories or to bringing up things you've seen in the past, even TV shows or scenes from books. All kinds of things can kind of appear out of the past into our mind. And again, if the mind is inclined in that direction to sort of bring up things from the past, when we catch that happening, can we let go of the narrative or the story of it and just recognize it's a fluctuation of the mind, and allow everything else to come back into scope as well. The body, the environment, the breath. And to settle ourselves back into this present moment. Again, we're not necessarily pushing against this forward, backward inclination of our mind. We're just allowing that occurs, but we're going to choose to be still anyway. Opening the aperture of the mind just a little wider. Relaxing into the present moment, letting yourself kind of soak into the joy of just being. Just being. if we're going through a particularly challenging time in life, sometimes our mind will circulate around kind of a problem solving kind of function, trying to find a solution to the difficulty. And that's part of life. It's a completely normal function of our mind. But if you catch yourself kind of tripping through those kinds of little problem solving, running over the same situation, just again, allow that occurs. It's part of our experience, but it's not part necessarily of the stillness. And can we invite ourselves to say, yep, I'll pick that up again, but right now, still. Just be still. Just a few more moments, nothing to do, nothing to think, just being with the body without thinking about it, being with the breath without thinking about it, just being present for each unfolding moment. Embracing the stillness, the relative quiet of being just right here. Letting everything just slow down for a bit longer. So just a few more breaths, allowing yourself to be present. Allowing yourself to sink into this moment just a little longer. Again, noticing that inclination, that little tug to do something. And for just a wee bit longer, resisting that urge. It's still going to be there when we're done. Again, take a moment, come into awareness of your breath. Just feel the breath come and go. You can give your body a little stretch, fingers and toes, a little wrist and ankle movement. And then becoming aware again of the environment around you by opening your eyes or listening. And then take your time transferring yourself back into doing. Thank you for joining me for a little Thursday mindfulness moment. I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day and your weekend. Namaste, everyone.